Alright, if you haven't seen it already, this video is going super duper mega viral right here because this woman barges into this funeral full of grieving people and she is super rude and disrespectful to the point where people have to try and hop in here and intervene, and she just continues to be horrible. And it has a lot of people arguing, but as someone who grew up in graveyards and has talked about graveyard etiquette before, I want to discuss it today because what I found on my deep dive of this place is almost more concerning than that video was. In fact, it was so odd to me that I'm putting the video of me showing you all of my crochet projects on hold until tomorrow for this. So first, this woman was upset because this grieving family poured a liquid into the soil. Let's talk about who was right and wrong here. For starters, everybody should know basic cemetery etiquette. Pretty straightforward things like don't have your kids just running around, don't step on the gravestones, don't be there after dark, don't be super loud and playing super loud music, things like that. And there are only 2 times in which cemetery etiquette is more relaxed. I would argue both those apply here. One would be at the funeral itself, the other would be if it is your loved one's grave. The only rules that really apply then is as long as you're being respectful and it's not hurting anyone else. And most of us would argue pouring some liquid onto some dirt is not really harming anything. In fact, it's a very common funeral practice for many cultures, so I went to look up this place because maybe it's just not exposed to a lot of other cultures or something, I don't know. And then I noticed it's in Texas, which means they should be aware of this. Already they're very much so in the wrong to me, but something bigger jumped out to me on their homepage, and it was this really weird and specific list of rules. Like, yes, most graveyards do have a list of rules for how they clean up decorations or what kind of decorations they allow because some things are harmful to the environment. And often people will put like more personal items that are smaller by the grave, but this place doesn't seem like it really allows anything for longer than a week. That was a red flag to me, and I went to go and look at what people had to say about this place. And apparently for many, many years, many people have been having a lot of issues with this specific funeral home and cemetery. And a very consistent theme here seems to be that they are extremely disrespectful to grieving families, much like that video. And you'll notice the consistency of the name of the general manager who is handling all of these communications lines up with what the people in the comment section are saying of their experiences, and also the person whose photo and bio they have removed off of their website. And whilst obviously that woman is a large part of the problem, especially in that video, I don't think just she is to blame for all this, because even years ago, when it was someone else who was in charge of all this, they were receiving these same kinds of complaints. There seems to be a strangely company-wide lack of empathy for grieving people over here.